Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video and sing along with me when I sing the Peter Dislike jingle. Let's pray again. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. By the way, the Peter Dislike prayer really means a lot to me. I pray it every time I go into a job interview, every time I go on a first date, or even a second date. I sometimes even seeing somebody that I've known for 10 years, I still sing Peter Dislike before meeting up with them. Before any sort of big event, I recently went to a backgammon tournament, and I sang Peter Dislike as I was shaking the dice on a very important roll, and I rolled the numbers that I needed. So it really does help. Um, I recently had a very difficult programming project. I'm working on an AI. I want to design this cryptocurrency that has a half life to it. So you may remember a few years ago, various countries around the world had difficulty because they couldn't lower their interest rates below zero. So I'm thinking a currency that disintegrates as it goes would facilitate that. So I want to invent a curry coin that has a half life of 138.376 days to mimic nature, right? Because nature chose that number, and there must be a reason for it, right? And I was having difficulty with the programming. And then I sang Peter Dislike, and sure enough, I came up with the idea that I needed. Right now, I'm having a difficult time with the climate here in Phoenix. So today, let's see how high the temperature got today. It's 92 degrees as I speak right now, but the highs are in the triple digits. Oh, we got some rain Friday. Yeah. But I'm praying that something will happen that will cause me to move out of Phoenix, a job opportunity, a relationship, or something. And this past month, when I started getting bad performance reviews, I did my best still, but at the same time, I remember thinking maybe this is God's way of telling me to leave Phoenix. And so I love all of my students. I still answered to, don't get me wrong, I didn't give up on the job. I still looked into it and answered the things that I needed to answer to. But at the same time, I thought maybe this is the God of dislikes telling me, get out. And so that gave me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. But the other reason I want to leave Phoenix, and perhaps the United States as a whole, we don't handle differences in life very well. So earlier today, and life is just noisy here in Phoenix. Uh, I had gone to a gas station to put gas in my car, and I just needed to clear my head. Bad weather, the girl in Taiwan being hot and cold with me, the anxieties of. I recently contacted one of Mary Curry's granddaughters, and I don't know if she's going to ghost me. The anxieties of that, right? She was really fascinated with my experiments, chemistry experiments, and she said she wanted to see me at some point. She was open to that, but she's 97 years old, so it's hard to say. Uh, and uh, I was talking to a friend about it, and my friend said maybe she's 97 years old. She might be mistaking me for somebody else, right? After all, I'm talking about chemistry experiments. But that would be nice too. I wouldn't mind if I went to see her and she thought I was like her long deceased of a family member. I'd be okay with that. I've been people like that with other people as well, so that's fine with me. But I had a lot of anxiety, and then I go to the gas station. I just wanted to browse the gas station aimlessly. I was looking at brake fluid, oil, whatever, and this guy just says, "Can I help you?" And it just really bothered me. I just needed some space. Unfortunately, here in the, I mean, granted, he didn't have any ill intentions, and as soon as I told him, I just need to clear my head, and he walked away. But a lot of times at the office or with my roommates, people are not very understanding of the concept of I need space. Sometimes people can be very vengeful after they see that they literally become even louder than they would have been just to watch you crash and burn. I've had roommates who have done that. I've had coworkers who have done that. I think my roommate, he had an ulterior reason. He rented a room out to me and then quickly realized it was a mistake. And I think that was part of the reason why he wanted me to crash and burn. He had rented out the room to me. I later learned from a mutual friend of ours that he had hoped that the two of us could discuss some science projects that he was working on. Well, you know what? I have two jobs and an art career. Maybe I do love some of the stuff that he's working on, but I don't have the bandwidth for it anymore. Yeah, I am going to be selfish and tend to my two jobs and my art career first, right? And had I known that was his motivation, I might have thought differently about moving in with him. But I later learned that he gave me a better deal than he wanted to because of that, and otherwise he would have had a guest room to himself or something like that. And so I, I learned from that experience that maybe it's best not to have unspoken ulterior motives, right? So, for example, if I'm dating somebody and there's something unspoken about it, maybe I should think hard about doing that, right? Or if I go into any sort of business deal, right? If I take a job and I have an ulterior thoughts to it, right? Maybe I'm hoping to get some other. The job is only a stepping stone, right? I'm going to set up people for disappointment if I do that, right? Or set myself up for disappointment, even, right? But anyway, I've had times when I was at the office and I told people I need space, and people got very defensive, angry, and deliberately stepped all over me for that. And that's part of the reason why I want to leave the United States, right? We have this individualistic culture, right? Sometimes, even if it's a colleague who feels I'm a competition, right? And they harass me with my condition, right? Uh, which is unfortunate because we're supposed to work as a team, but we're also competing, right? That's tricky, right? Uh, and Unfortunately, I've learned the hard way that I have to be very careful, even when I do need that personal space, who I tell and how I tell them, right? I gotta be careful about that.